What's going on, Internet? IG here again today, and we're going to be taking a look at something a little bit different. I know you guys like gaming, and let's be honest, most of us do. Well, it just so happens that there's an operating system out there that's based on Linux that tries to provide a very well-packaged gaming experience that you can either download for free as a Linux operating system, or you can even shell out about $30 and you can get a controller and a USB stick and everything you need pre-configured, ready to go, and all you need to do is plug it in and boot it up. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. It's called MIA 2.0 Game On. So MIA 2.0 comes in those two versions. You have the light version, which is free to download, and it has basically all the same software except for the gamepad controller support. And then of course you have the full version, which has that support as well as the controller bundled in with it. Now if you do opt to get the full version, you're going to get an 8 gig USB thumbstick that has persistence enabled on it. Basically this means that any changes that you make or any games that you install or add to the system will be added to the flash drive, so you don't actually ever have to install this system if you don't want to. Of course 8 gig isn't a heap of space, so you are going to want to keep that in mind. Now it does come with a pretty nice wireless game controller as well, and obviously the USB adapter for it to connect to your computer. And okay, let's be honest, it looks like a PlayStation controller. And as far as a generic gamepad goes, it's not too bad, but it's really not the point of what this game distribution has to offer. While the gamepad itself is, you know, it satisfies the need, it's obviously not going to be as well manufactured or as high quality as what you would expect to see in an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller. But it gets the job done pretty well, and it's got all the logical button placements that everybody would be used to who is used to playing games with a console controller. So the operating system itself is based on Ubuntu 13.10, and while this is a slightly older version of the operating system, that's not to say that it won't be upgraded in the future. Now it's running an LXDE desktop environment, and the idea of that is to give you the most possible graphics performance you can possibly eke out of your system, and especially because it's running off a USB stick, you don't want too much running in the background. It comes with a pretty minimal setup, with just a dock providing all of your navigational needs and a couple of icons on the desktop, including a very useful user guide. Now I strongly recommend, whether you download the full version or the light version, that you check out this user guide, because it's going to give you some very helpful tidbits about what this distribution is and how it works. It's invaluable with the full version because it will explain all the different controls and all the different pre-configured presets for the wireless controller, so that you can actually know what buttons you're supposed to be mashing when. So I mentioned that this distribution is supposed to be aimed towards gamers. Well, what does it actually offer? Well, it offers a couple of native games out of the box, not too many, obviously for space restrictions. So we do have a couple of games here that are pretty easy to install no matter what distribution you're on, such as Hedge Wars, Super Tux Kart, Super Tux 2, T-Worlds and Talks, and they're all pretty popular open source games. But then this distribution also comes with quite a few pre-configured emulators, such as DOSBox for all of your old MS-DOS games, MAME for emulating all of the Atari based games that you might have, PCSX for all of the PlayStation games, and of course the ZSNES for emulating all of the Nintendo Entertainment System games that you might have lying around or you might find stumbling around the internet. Now obviously there weren't actually any games or any ROMs included with the distribution because of copyright issues obviously, but that's I'm sure not going to be too much of a problem for anybody who's internet savvy. It also comes with all of the tools that you would expect to see in a general everyday distribution, such as an Office suite, LibreOffice, a web browser, music player, etc. It also comes with the XBMC Media Center, which is quite convenient with the wireless remote, because of the fact you can use it pretty successfully to navigate the XBMC interface just using the gamepad. So this is the sort of thing that you could definitely plug into a computer next to your TV and not really ever have to get up off the couch to use the keyboard. Now as far as the system itself, it is very snappy owing to that LXDE interface. Also the applications are pretty quick to load as you're loading them off a USB stick if you opt with that version, but even if you do just use the light version and install it to your computer like a normal operating system, you're still going to find it's going to be pretty snappy because of that LXDE interface, and there's really not much going on elsewhere. Now, owing to the fact that it is Ubuntu 13.10, I believe at least I've come across a few little instabilities when it comes to different games and such. I've had a couple of little crashes here and there, nothing that's show-stopping, but still it's worth keeping in mind that it is based off a version of Ubuntu that is eventually going to be going out of date, at least at this point, and of course you will see an annotation if an update does roll around. I guess the thing that impresses me most about this little distribution and this little package that you can get is the fact that it's very tightly integrated between the controller and the games that you can play. It does have presets available for browsing the web, for general desktop use, for some of the emulators, and of course for the native games themselves. And it's all pre-configured, ready to go, so you don't have to do much at all. And that's what I would like to see in a Linux-based gaming console. Even the Steam box in the future is something that's out of the box, ready to roll, and you don't have to do much tweaking at all. Of course, you can add as many different ROMs and games to this distribution as you so desire, and you could probably even add Steam to it and then install Steam games from there if you really wanted to. Obviously, if you went for the 8GB USB stick and controller package, you're probably going to run out of room pretty quickly. But if you do install it on a hard drive, and there is the option to do that from the 8GB USB stick, you can transfer it over to a normal hard drive install, you'd have oodles of room. It also has Wine pre-installed, ready to go, so you are able to install any Windows games that you might be interested in, but it would be good to see something like Play on Linux where it kind of streamlines that process for you. Overall, I'm very impressed with this little package. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I recommend that if you are looking for something that is streamlined, it's already set up, ready to go, then you definitely give this OS a look. MIA 2.0 game on, and you can find it from www.grasshopperos.com, and of course, as always, there'll be links in the description box below. But definitely check it out, and of course, if you like it, you can download it for free, and if you really like it, and you want that tied-in gamepad controller experience, then definitely I think it's worth the $30. As always, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, then definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this content on a regular basis. We're going to have a CentOS 7 review coming up for you very shortly, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.